Well, Sports Interactive fixed the MLS with international slots. That means we're good to go. I could continue with my tutorial series. I can continue or start the building a dynasty season with the New York Red Bulls. Everything's good. Or is it? All right, guys. Welcome back. Gaming Grandpa here. Continuing with my tutorial series Lost in the MLS. As you know, Sports Interactive had a huge bug where the international slots did not count. It didn't go up. Nothing happened. Yes, I have 14. I know a lot of people cringe at that. They're like, oh my goodness, the whole point of that you're abusing the system, cheating, da da da. I want to show you something here. All right. This is the roster for the upcoming 24 season for the Los Angeles Football Club. Now, remember, they won the MLS Cup and the Supporters Shield last year. So I just want to show you this. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They have 13. Now, last year, before the season ended, they have 15 international slots. Okay, so for everybody that sits there and thinks that, oh my, the AI doesn't know what they're doing, they're trading away international slots and blah blah blah. Okay, I have one less than what they had last year. Okay, and by the time 2023 ends, I'm probably going to be cut down to maybe 10. That's the goal because there's a lot of young American kids this year that I'm trying to get on the team. So, but I just wanted to touch base with that first before I get going into too much. Is that that's been the biggest cry, I guess, from the MLS, is that fans are saying and players are saying that the AI is too easy, or they cheat, or they waive all these players and blah blah blah. I don't agree with that. And yes, I have 14 slots, but you know what? Vancouver had, I don't know, 17 or 18 a couple years ago. Atlanta United has always had way more than what they should. So it's just what teams need or what they want. Now, I will say thanks Sports Interactive for fixing the MLS. I'm so happy you fixed this, but you botched up some other things, a lot of other things, and it's really, really, really frustrating. So I'm going to talk about that real quick. I had to move some of my players, and I'll get into that. Why? Like this guy here, I can't release him on a free because it's saying that I have to pay compensation for him, and that's no, you don't have to do that. I don't understand. That's the whole point of releasing him on a free. I mean, look at he's a senior minimum salaried player, so I don't know why. And this is another dude that just really drove me nuts. All right, release on a free. It's still saying that his contract's going to count against the cap, and no, that's not. Releasing on a free, it means exactly that. You release them on a free and you don't have to pay them anything. Now, if you just sign a player, obviously, but these guys, their contracts are expiring and they've been with the team for a couple of years. I shouldn't have to pay anything. So they botched that up. It was working fine prior to the update. So I don't know what's going on. Now, waiving players, that's completely different. When you waive a player, they have to pass through waivers, and if they don't, then you could possibly still pay their salary, depending on their guaranteed contract or whatnot. None of these guys are guaranteed yet. So that's why I don't understand why that is not working. So it's just really frustrating. But anyhow, this episode is going to concentrate on getting your roster ready for March 4th roster compliance date. And once again, if you don't know where the rules are at, you go to competitions, you go into Major League Soccer, and then you go to overview and you go to rules. Scroll down, transfer and registration rules right here. Max of 30 players by March 4th. Okay, that's roster compliance date. Now, next year it changes. I think it's March 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember. But it just changes. So you want to check this every year. Okay. Now, it's just really kind of aggravating when you're trying to build a squad and you can't release players. It's frustrating. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to register your squad and get it ready. The first thing that you need to know is that you need to start playing around with your registration before March 4th. Okay, it gives you a little bit of time to get into things. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. Now, I will tell you that I've registered my squad already because once again you need to project and whatnot. All right, it's saying I have 29 players at 30 registered. Now, I don't know where they're getting 29. There should be 28, and you're looking at this right here and you're going, some of these players aren't registered. All right, first off, the guys in pink are loaned out. So you don't have to count them, whether they're loaned out for a month or 6 months or a season or whatever. You don't have to count them. All right. So all the check marks here means that they're registered. All right. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll see a few of them that aren't in pink that aren't registered. Okay. Injured players. Now, one thing about the injured players, and it's really weird how Sports Interactive has this coded. All right. Because this is a new season for me, and I guess they're taking it from last year because Yearwood was here last year, so they consider him a registered player already, if that makes any sense, because he counts up in here. All right, if you count all my players, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Yearwood's 15, 20. All right, I count 28. All right, so I don't know where they're getting the 29th from because when you go into your B team, there's nobody registered. Oh, okay. They're counting Ofori. All right, I get it. I understand now. I didn't notice that because I just sent him to. He didn't make the final cut. I just sent him down to the second team, and I'll cover all that here in just a bit. All right, so that's why. But anyhow, I have 28 currently registered because Ofori's not going to be registered, and don't worry, he's not going to get waived. Blah blah blah. We'll get into all that later. But injured players, you can't register. All right. But the spot is held. Their salary cap spot's held. All this is held. All right. It's really weird. So if I cleared all of this out now, it will say that I have, and we'll go ahead and do it. See how I have 3 players up here, and I have $1.2 million in salary cap already. That comes from Yearwood, and that comes from Klamala, and then Ofori, because once again I just sent him down yesterday maybe. So that's why it's counting that. So I'm going to auto select. Yeah, I know. It reminds me I have cap money. All right. And make sure that everybody's checked. That needs to be checked. Thomas Amang, for whatever reason. And it put it at 30, but that's fine. I'll tell you what they did now. When you auto select, yeah, I don't want him. So I'm back to 29, and Ofori will put me down to 28. So, and then you just confirm it. All right. Now, I'll get into more of that on roster compliance date. I'll have just a quick little update just to show you. All right. But anyhow, everything's green, and that's what you want. All right. That's just how the MLS does. You can't register the injured players, and it's just really weird. So if people are freaking out, and you're like, why do I got players there already? That's why, because injured players that were in my main team at one point, before I sent them down, they're going to count. Okay. So I'm good to go. Time to meet the team. I mean, pretty much that's it. All right. Before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the transfers real quick. All right. Now, I had him last year with my St. Louis City save. I mean, you get him for nothing, and he's not coming in until January of 24. So I have a whole other year before he even comes to me, which is, I set it up that way on purpose. This guy was a fill-in, and I will get into that here in just a bit. Now, I want to also let you know that I have it set up so that my B team gets players signed, from other players, or from my director of football, I believe it is. Not director of football, general manager. Oh, my God. Okay. De Leon was one. Levy was one. They're going around signing players. Now, I don't mind them when they do that. This guy I wouldn't have signed, but you know what? It's okay. I need a goalkeeper at least until I get another player signed that I'm going to put in here. But yeah, I mean, some of these players, you can end up selling them for some money or whatnot. I mean, they sign contracts, so it's not that bad. All right. Now, another thing, the academy. I didn't suggest this last time, but any players that you want to keep an eye on, you need to shortlist them. All right. Even if they become free agents, you can still sign them, because I own the rights to them. But I have a few of them that are shortlisted that I really, really want to sign. And I need to sign him here pretty soon because the way that Football Manager does things, no telling when he'll be out. It's really crazy. Okay, we're going to get into the transfers. The first thing we're going to cover are all of my trades. All right. Now, Sean Nealis, I just did not want him, and I got lucky. Real Salt Lake came in with a really, really good offer, and I didn't even try to manipulate it at all. I actually just accepted it because 2 first-round picks, I got a second-round pick and an international slot for 4 years. So that was amazing. This kid, I was torn because he was a good little player, but he just wasn't, I didn't have plans for him, so I might as well get something out of him. And the board didn't like the fact I got rid of him, but I had some. I hired intermediaries, and there was teams that wanted to pay me 100,000, 250,000. I'm like, you know what, man, screw that. I'm just going to go ahead. I got an international slot for a year. I did trade for more international slots, as you can see here, all of these. And the most I gave up was some allocation money and a third round pick, which is not bad. All right. I did trade for Miskik. I really wanted that kid, and Justin Che. I traded for him. Now, the Caceres, I didn't want to get rid of because he had American citizenship. He had one more year on his contract. No, 2 more years. But he just, some of my youngsters are going to be better than him here in another year anyway. So he really wasn't in my plans past this year. And Portland came in for an offer for 2 first-round picks, one for 25 and one for 26, and international slot for a year. I'm like, you know what? Let's see what we can do. So I don't think I did too bad to get a kid the quality of Justin Che, and I will go into that here in just a bit. But that was really, really good. Okay, I'm going to show you player trials. You know, I ended up signing Holcomb, and I signed Rod. Holcomb has actually made the team. Jacobs was on a free, and he's down in the B team. He's a 17-year-old. He's going to be pretty good. These 5 are currently on trial, and I'm trying to sign Torres, and I'll go into that on why. And I'm going to sign more and more of these, and I don't know who, and put them in the B team. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to all transfers. All right, first off, transfers out. All right, I don't want any of these players. So I couldn't get rid of them. The intermediary thing is kind of glitched. It's not really working that well. Sometimes you'll get offers that will come in and you're all excited. And then when you click to kind of view the offer, it says this team no longer wishes to sign this player, and it glitches it out. And it's freaking aggravating, man. It's very, very frustrating. But that's why I just loaned them out, and their contracts expire at the end of this year anyway. So, you know, I'll try to sell them in June if I can. You know, we'll figure that one out. All right, but I did manage to get rid of this kid. I mean, he's not a bad little player, honestly. He really isn't. But look at it. It's recommended as a D, so I did a pretty good job. All right, Nadam just didn't fit my plans. I mean, he really, truly didn't. All right, this dude here, I ended up releasing him because I couldn't get rid of him. But look, I had a $15 fee. He was on loan for a month. All right, Miera, Al Hazim came in, and you can definitely tell the Saudi League is in abundance here because, you know, the max I was getting from other teams was like 450,000, and they went to 725. So I was happy to get rid of a backup goalkeeper that was never going to play for me. So I was happy about that. Now, Burke wasn't a bad little player at the time. I mean, he's worth quite a bit, but he wasn't in my plans, and so I got $1.3 million for him. And Conte, I loaned out. He's one of the ones that I can't release, and so he's in my B team, and I don't like it because my salary cap is still counting in the B team, and it's not supposed to, guys. It's not supposed to. I just don't understand why they can't fix this crap. Okay, these players here were all signed before I got here, as you can tell. All right, I didn't take over until, I don't know, January. Oh, I take that back. These players were signed before I got here. Alejandro, I actually brought up from the academy, and I'll cover out my team here in just a bit. I did sign Ronnie. All right, goalkeeper, I kind of had to. He's a model citizen. He's going to be my starting goalkeeper here next season. Junior, I signed. For those of you that watched Building Dynasty last year, you'll know I had to get him. I mean, he's just a wonderful player. All right, I went out and got Cercati from Parma, and I'm very, very happy with him. All right, but I mean, he's the most highest. No, he's not. Diamante is, but he was the highest at the time. My highest transfer cost. All right, Trilly, I think, is an amazing player. And wow, I got him for pennies on a dollar. I mean, look at that. How can you not? Kyle Joseph, I got from Swansea. He's a little Scottish player. All right, Diamante is my most expensive signing, but he's going to be a stud. And I'm very excited about that. All right, and Rod and Holcomb, once again, I signed as free agents. They were on trial. I kept Holcomb up in the main team, but Rod went down. De Leon and Levy, I didn't sign. Once again, they're in the B team. Shane Flynn, I signed from Leicester, of all places. All right, he's going to be filling in and getting some play time. And Ameng, I signed last year, but I kind of had to. He's my captain this year, and he's not even my starter, so it's just kind of crazy. But anyway, that's going to be pretty much my team. I'm not going to be making that many more transfers. this year, I have some transfer money left. I have a lot of payroll left. So finances, I mean, we're pretty doing pretty well. I mean, look at it. I'm quite a bit under my payroll, which is a good thing. So I'm very happy about that. All right, so squad planner. All right, Klamala is not going to be here. I'm going to try to get rid of him at the end of the season because I can always have a main fill-in for him if need be. I'm trying to get Dante Sealy. He plays for Dallas. And I tell you what, Dallas has some really good players. That's where Che came from, and I will cover that in just a bit. But I like to keep my promising players up with the main team so they could get mentored. And it's just, I don't know, Klamala, he's a perfectionist, so I might keep him around for next year. I don't know yet. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be Klamala, Ameng, and Guerrero are my three strikers. Luquinhas, who I'm going to try to keep as long as I can. He has a resolute personality. He's going to be a good mentor. But Elias is, luckily he's a squad player. And, hopefully he can get some of that personality rubbed off on him. Okay, once again, Holcomb, I signed on trial. And I think he's going to be a pretty good little player for me. Okay, now, central attacking mid, Diamande, of course, I already covered. Look, he's worth quite a bit, man. And I'm just ecstatic about him. All right, Carmona was with the team, but, he's one of them kids that I decided to keep. Miskic, I traded to get him. I think he's going to be a good little player for me. Has a driven personality, and, I got to keep these young Americans here if I can, right? Okay, Lewis Morgan came with the team. He got a green card, and everybody and their mother wanted him at one point, and I just keep rejecting him because he is not going anywhere for a little while. I mean, he's fairly ambitious, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to keep him too much longer. But you know what? He's here for now. All right, Fernandez is not going to be here. He's kind of a fill-in, but he's not going to be here. His contract expires this year, so come June, I'm going to try to get rid of him. And then Joseph is the one that I just showed you, the little Scottish kid. I think he's going to do great things for us. Very professional attitude, so it's good. All right. Now, midfield. This is kind of problematic at some point, but Amaya is my starting left midfielder, central midfielder. Daniel Edelman he's actually on some of the American Wonder Kid list if you guys go around and look. I mean, he's going to be a good little player. And I'm going to have to extend his contract. Obviously, he has an extension, I think a 3-year triggered. I get triggered for 3 years, so, might keep him. Okay, Torres is the one that I signed, but he's going to be my third midfielder on both sides. He's going to fill in over here, and the other two kids, if I sign them, they're probably going to end up just going into the B team for now. All right, Drew Yearwood, an English kid. I think he's a really good little player. He was my second choice, but then I got rid of Caceres, and honestly, they were both 3 stars, current ability, so I think he'll slot in just fine. Here's another young player that I think is really good that came with the team. All right, and that takes care of my midfielders, and once again, Torres is going to cover for both of them. All right, now, my left back. Token is just a stud. I mean, he came with the team, and he's signed through 27, so he's definitely staying with us a while. Shane Flynn is either going to play left back or center back. Jalen Reed is my other left back that came with the team. All right. Andres Reyes, he is not going to be with us at the end of this year. I can tell you that. I mean, he's not a bad little player, but he's an international player, number one, so I'm going to try to get another American kid, and I'll go into that in just a second. But he's my current starter. Junior is going to take his spot next year. Now, in my save last year, Junior gets a green card pretty quick, so I'm kind of excited about that. But he's going to end up being the starting center back here next year. And this kid, I thought about sending him down to the B team, but check out his height. He is 6'8". 6'8", has a professional attitude. So, wow, I'm just, he came with the team. I'm like, why not? All right. Now, if you notice, these two are already in other positions. So, Circati is my main one, and I covered him, but I think he's going to be an outstanding player for us. He's 6'3", so I really like tall center backs. Now, Kick Peary. I want to sign him. He has American citizenship also, and I just couldn't get him in because you only get 3 designated player slots right now, and I'm going to sign him for next year. But the problem is he wants to start, and I just don't have any room for him. So we'll have to figure that one out. All right. Anyhow, right backs, truly, I covered him. He's going to be a really good young player for us. Justin Che, I traded Dallas for him, but How can you not? I mean, look at him. I mean, he's going to be awesome. He's going to be my backup. And then Cameron Harper came with the team. Now, he might not be here next year. I'm not for sure. Here's another kid I'm trying to sign, but Sporting KC. So I don't know. Like I said, I love my American kids this year. They're really good. Okay, Cornell is not going to be here at the end of this year. He's going to go away. Ronning is going to take his place. He's the model citizen. And then Nuoso I'm trying to sign, but he don't come in until next year. So I might sign Suzuki or this kid. I don't know. I might sign them both and put him in the B team and bring him up as my third goalkeeper. I don't know yet. But that pretty much is my team. And of course, this is the tactic that we're going to play, and I'll cover that before we start the game. But this episode, once again, has been about trying to get everybody into the habit of checking at least a week out on your registration to make sure that you're compliant, okay? And it's just, it is what it is, but I will cover that once again. Now, another thing I wanted to cover, and for whatever reason, I could not get my designated players to show up. I don't know. I couldn't get it. I don't know what it is. I thought it was contract, but it's not. So I'm going to have to do some. Thought it was a type, but it didn't show up that way. So I'm going to have to figure this one out. But anyway, all right. So Cotty is on a young designated player contract. He's one of them. Luquinhas is on another one. He is a designated player, so that's two of my three. Now, Yearwood, I think, is on an under 22. Yes, he is. And I just actually extended his contract. So, triggered his contract, I should say. All right. Now, Elias, I think, is my other. Nope, he's a senior. Okay. I'm trying to think. I wish it would say, I'm going to have to figure it out. Is Reyes? I'm not for sure. All right, Diamande is definitely, he's my third young designated player. All right, now my under 22s. Okay, let me see. Where are they at? It's not Flynn. No. Junior's not. Fernandez. Morgan. All right. Trilly. He is on an under 22. All right. I do know that. Joseph, I think is? No, he's a senior. Okay, he wanted one, but I got him out of it. All right. What is Reyes? Under 22. Okay, he's my other one. Yes, he's over 22, but his contract expires this year, so I can't do it. Okay, so with that going on, that's my three under 22s. Now, here's the rule about that, all right? You're allowed 3 designated players, and you're allowed 3 under 22 initiatives. However, if you have 3 designated players signed already and only 2 under 22 initiative players, you're not allowed to sign the third one unless your third designated player is a young designated player. Then you can. If you have all, if you sign your under, so what I'm getting at is you have to sign your under 22s before you fill that third slot. That way you're guaranteed to have all 3 of them. It is possible to only be able to have 2 under 22 initiative players. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. But anyway, this is going to be the team, the upcoming season, and I will be back here shortly to show you exactly what happens on March 4th when you register players. So make sure everything's in tow. But that's why I said double check your squad and register ahead of time. That way it gives you time to move players down to the B team or do whatever you have to do. Players that you move down to the B team, you don't have to register them for your senior team and they will not get waived. That's why you want to do that and you want to check ahead of time. So, but anyway, guys, that's going to take care of this episode. Like I said, this primary reason I did this one was to show you to come in here early to get your registration up to date. And I will go through each one of these things here in the next episode. So, I'm back. It's been a little while since I made a video here, so I'm kind of like, stumbling through my words for some reason. But anyway, that takes care of this episode, guys. So leave me a thumbs up, add some comments, ask me some questions. I know there's probably going to be quite a bit of questions in regards to how to get international slots or register in your club and things like that. And I'm here. I'm here to help. And then subscribe if you want more videos. So until the next episode, thanks for watching and have a good day.